Hi folks, so every year a bunch of crazy Navy SEALs and a bunch of people that support them jump in the Hudson River and swim from Jersey City, New Jersey, and they come all the way up through the Hudson. Actually, quite an event.
I'd say it was just a few months before I joined Fox. I was watching the television. I saw a shirtless, tattooed Pete Hegseth swimming in the Hudson River with a bunch of Navy SEALs, and I said, man, I want to do that.
You did?
I want to swim the New York City SEAL Swim.
I was hosting, and a bunch of these Navy SEALs showed up in these short shorts, and they said, tomorrow we're jumping in the Hudson River. We're going to swim across. And the cool thing is, it's a great cause, too. These guys are committed to helping other vets.
My name is Bill Brown. I'm a former Navy SEAL. I'm the organizer and creator of the New York City SEAL Swim.
We got 5 stars.
My experience on 9/11, I was at SEAL Team 8 in Little Creek, Virginia. All of a sudden, some of our instructors, their beepers started going off. They got the TV on in a platoon hut. At first, we kind of thought it was an accident. But then we're all together, we watched the second one hit. That moment changed our lives. It was devastating. Twin Towers were the symbolic silhouette of New York City. To see those buildings crumble down, to see individuals that were literally jumping out of the burning buildings, and to see all the people running with ashes trying to get away, knowing that all those firefighters were rushing in there to help save other people, it had a huge impact on me, huge.
You are swimming in the Hudson River, literally underneath the Statue of Liberty with America's most elite warriors, pushing yourself with your friend to do push-ups, pull-ups, and swim 3 miles, and ultimately end up at the base of the World Trade Center. I'll tell you this, it's one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life.
It's a physical challenge that is as much mental as anything else.
I became a SEAL. I joined the Navy because I believed in our nation's freedoms and civil liberties. And I thought about the Statue of Liberty, you know, that torch of freedom. To me, that's what she represents. That's why so many different people come from every part of our planet to our nation, right?
There she is, Statue of Liberty. Beautiful thing.
Pre-COVID 2019, I would take the path over from Newark to the station right there at the World Trade Center. I'd see the Statue of Liberty on my right as I'm driving up the turnpike and on my left as I'm headed back. I thought about how close these iconic landmarks were: Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, the World Trade Center. And I thought the only thing that's separating them is the Hudson River. I was like, SEALs, we can swim. In our community, we kind of do workouts to honor our fallen. I lost a couple friends, and so I kind of thought about their sacrifice. Courage is one attribute you cannot counterfeit. I call it the guardian spirit. You think about what happened on 9/11. You think about all those firefighters who won in there that, you know, everybody's running out, they're running in. Veterans kicking ass, taking names, doing good. Police officers kicking ass, taking names, doing good. Firefighters kicking ass, taking names, and doing good. What we're about. I wanted to use this event as a way to showcase, to show our country how beautiful these men are.
One thing veterans need to do is we gotta look out for each other. One thing, we all gotta look out for each other.
And I knew that if I put the flare out there, that I would, without a doubt, have a bunch of my brothers come and ride you up.
One of the hardest things guys do, they get out of the teams, they're, you know, we've been told for, you know, whatever time we were in, for me it was 9 years, that look, you're the best there is, you know, go get them, be here at this time and do this, kill bad guys, break their stuff, and we get out. And a lot of us, me included, we struggle, we're like, all right, what do we do now?
So the event started as a brainchild to how could we give back to those that were lost during that fateful day. And Bill came up with the initial concept and said, oh my God, okay, this happened here in New York. Look at the landmarks that we have that represent our freedoms, our way of life that were attacked. And he said, no, not on our watch. You know, we're gonna do something about this, and we wanted to give something back to that community and to our veterans.
The SEAL teams is a bunch of independent people that are winners that contribute to do something that none of us can do by ourselves. And that's what we've lost sight of. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's finding something that you value greater than your fears. The things that are the intangibles in life that are priceless, you can't do by yourself. We got to come together to do a we thing that makes America great here at home. When everything's on the line and you should want to survive, are you going to do the me thing of self-preservation? Or are you going to do the we thing of progression of your people?
My entire family had served in some level. I grew up with an appreciation of service. When I was younger, wanted to be a pilot. My grandfather was a decorated World War II pilot. Top Gun was awesome.
We go through all these iconic landmarks. You have these badass, ripped up Navy SEALs, veterans, police officers, and firefighters doing push-ups and pull-ups right by the Statue of Liberty.
When we do something, it usually involves some sick physical event.
SEALs, when we are in, we do hard things, super hard things, things that most people say that can never be done or I could never do that. And this swim is kind of one of those things.
I want to honor all the beautiful men and women that have lost their lives on 9/11, lost their lives in the wars on terror following, and also all those who stepped up for our country. We're going to help raise some money to help veterans in New York City and New Jersey. We're going to send a positive message in our community.
I went to Iraq and Afghanistan, lost a friend there. So being able to do something that honors, brothers that we've lost overseas in the war just means a lot, to be able to give back in some portion and do something that sucks, but do it with a good brotherhood of people, do it collectively, all for one mission is, something that you don't really find in the civilian world, even in law enforcement. So it's cool to be able to train up and come do this, yearly with these guys.
What Bill Brown has put together is incredible. It's a bunch of guys who truly believed in patriotism and freedom and were willing to go fight and be wounded and lose friends in order to hopefully preserve the freedom we have as a nation. And this swim captures that.
Let's honor these guys we lost, man. It's going to be amazing.
PAPD, the Port Authority, NYPD, FDNY, the Coast Guard.
All service members, all veterans, police officers, firefighters, all first responders. One thing we all have in common is the guardian spirit. When I look at the roster of all the beautiful men and women who come to do the swim, and I see, look, this guy's a Vietnam Ranger, this guy's a Force Recon guy, this guy's in the FBI, this even Secret Service agents. You want to talk about teamwork, you want to talk about true character. To swim across one of the most dangerous rivers in the country, and they're doing it, why? Because they want to look out for other veterans. That is a beautiful thing.
It's just that impact of even just a small group, because for me it's the guy next to me on my left and the guy next to me on my right. I don't care if he's a frogman or Army Ranger or Green Beret or Air Force PJ or the son or a daughter of someone that lost their life there.
Come on out.
I was in the Army in the Vietnam War and was assigned to the 75th Rangers in Vietnam. My wife and I were up here and I happened to be watching the news that morning and I saw this SEAL swim in the Hudson. Well, it got my attention. I turned to her and said, I'm doing that next year.
I'm an Army guy, Green Beret. After the leg came off, swimming was a whole lot easier than running. And right after my amputation, the first event that I could actually race in was a swimming event. So I'm like, well, let's do it.
I got started last year. I'm actually a trooper with the Pennsylvania State Police. The patriotism throughout is amazing. The support that they have for one another and the support that everyone brings to the table is next to none. We're not going to leave each other stranded behind. We'll all be there for one another and we'll make sure we get everyone through.
Being a Ranger, it was important to show this, the respect and the love for other service members, and nobody's tougher than SEALs. A little bit of this is competing too, when you start getting to the other side. I'm 74 years old. I like catching up to those young guys and passing them if I can.
Not a lot of people are going to get the opportunity to jump into the Hudson, swim to the Statue of Liberty, then swim to Ellis Island, and then into Manhattan.
Woo! Jelly woo!
There's a saying that says, through pain comes suffering, and through suffering comes wisdom. And if that in fact is true, we're a pretty wise group.
Thought about the good it would do for a lot of my brothers who were SEALs on 9/11 as well, and what it would be like for them to swim by the Statue of Liberty, swim by Ellis Island. She has to represent all the great men and women who came from everywhere to our country for a better life.
We do 100 push-ups and 22 pull-ups.
The 22 pull-ups is to pay respect to the 22 veterans that commit suicide because of anxiety related to combat stress.
I knew guys who were rocks, okay? And 7 of them have either tried or succeeded in killing themselves in the last 12 years. These are personal friends of mine. And these are guys that, like, I mean, I looked up to, that were my rock in the team to say, that's the guy I want to be one day.
We just need to get people back together and understand that there's a cost to that freedom. This swim represents that cost.
The people who are here represent people who can't be here.
Veterans transition is a much bigger problem than most people understand.
We're still losing guys daily.
Because there's an epidemic in mental health. This problem is not just something that the service member has to go through, service members' families and their kids.
I know what we're doing helps a lot of veterans. Being a SEAL, being a frogman is important to me, but that's over with. I think what my job now is to help those who weren't as fortunate as I am, and I'll continue to do that until the day I check off the net.
It takes a special person. What I found was we need it as much as anybody. We need the camaraderie, we need that tribal love.
We have a saying, 1 is none, 2 is one. That's a brotherhood. You need a team. The good it does for us inside.
When we get together, it's amazing what happens. It's almost like medicine.
Just getting back together and seeing everybody and the camaraderie, laughing and telling stories and having an amazing time. Motivating, cultivating, and inspiring one another through our lives, what we're doing now and what we've done in the past.
Year number 4, amazing, amazing.
It's supposed to be extremely difficult, and it is. It's a no bullshit event. We want our sacrifice to be pure. Our intentions are pure.
It's easy to get into that moment, you know, when you see the gravity of my other teammates, you see the Gold Star families. It's very easy to say, a little pain, a little suffering, sweat a little bit, yeah, no problem.
Being a part of a brotherhood, it's doing something for a greater good.
We've always held the SEAL community with honor. We looked up for our brothers and sisters. In every service, I know the character of the men in the SEAL teams. These guys are guys who love our nation. They've committed a large part of their life to being at the tip of the spear and seriously sacrificed and seriously gave a lot of love for our country for many years to help other veterans, to respect and honor all those other great Americans, to respect all the great ideals and beliefs that those iconic monuments represent for our nation. It's an amazing and epic event. Our goal is, number 1, to be victorious and glorious. Set a symbol out there of SEALs kicking ass and taking names. When you're getting over 100 people across that Hudson, that's what's happening.
We set an example for our entire nation today, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
I have an incredible, immense amount of respect for these men and women. These are the real superheroes. These Navy SEALs, what they've experienced across the world on our behalf, is what keeps us free.
We have an ethos in our world, and that is honor on and off the field. If this is the way I can honor them, good. This is how I'll do it. And I'll do it until I can't do it anymore, and then I'll have my nephew roll me up in a wheelchair to the edge of the water of the bridge there at Liberty Park and just dump me in, Jonathan. I'll do the rest.